Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. My name is Alexandria. You can find me on social media on Instagram at Millennial Nursepreneur. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about finding your why in content writing. And again, this content is specifically targeting registered nurses and other healthcare professionals who are interested in becoming a freelance writer. I have a background in nursing and I started a freelance writing business in 2022. And I think there's a lot to be said about becoming a freelance writer. And I really want to help other healthcare professionals who are interested in doing this. So, as usual, I have my notes. So, why is finding your why important in freelance writing? And again, this is another one of those really loaded questions, but it's really important to answer this question because when you step into a new realm of work, you need to know what your purpose is. There's always tasks and, achievements or goals that we're trying to achieve, and we need to understand how to get there, right? And so, with finding your why in content writing, as with anything else you do, you're gonna burn out or get bored or find something else to do if you don't have a true love for what you're trying to do. And freelance writing is no different. It's been my experience that when you start telling people you're a freelance writer and you have a background in healthcare or in nursing specifically, you're going to find all type of clients or potential clients coming your way. You're going to find people who want you to write content about things that you may not be interested in. You're going to find clients who are going to try to lowball the hell out of you and say that they don't have a budget for you and they would love for you to write a sample piece or 2 or 12. You're going to find clients or potential clients who come to you and want you to write more than what you might have time for. And it's really important that you spend some time figuring out your why. What is your intention with writing your health content? What is your purpose? Who are you trying to target? What goal are you trying to achieve? And I want to make sure I go through everything that I thought about writing for this. Oh, and another reason why it's important to find your why is so that you can set clear boundaries. I've had experiences where I had content that I've written that doesn't have my name on it out there. I have definitely written for clients that I didn't do a good job of negotiating my pay for, so therefore I wrote for less than what I probably should have written for. And all of that kind of falls into your why because you need to remain sharp when you're writing your content, when you are interviewing subject matter experts, when you are doing the research on a topic and you're giving your all, including your bringing your expertise, your experience as a healthcare professional to the forefront. You want the recognition, and you want, or at least I do, I want the recognition and I want pay that I feel coincides with the work that I put into my projects. And beyond the money and the recognition, I know that my purpose is to help people understand more about these medical conditions that we've complicated so much because of how much content we're trying to push on someone so fast because we're afraid that we're going to lose them to follow up once they leave the hospital. And my intent is to give you more palatable information that's less medical jargon and more of that content that helps the reader really understand the medical condition and how to best live with it and control it at home, and hopefully never come back to the ED. with complications from that condition. So I have some tips to help people find their why in content writing. And again, this is really important because just like with nursing, content writing, you will burn out doing it if you don't have a purpose. If you don't know exactly why it is you want to do this work and you have not put forth the effort to understand your intentions, you will burn out. It is a time intensive thing sometimes, content writing, and really all the time. If I'm being honest, it's time intensive. It can be labor intensive, and if you're not interested in the work, it's going to come out in your articles, because your articles are either going to be just full of jargon or full of nothing, and your readers walk away with not having learned anything, and that doesn't benefit you or the reader. So let's talk about some tips on how to find your why in content writing. So one tip that I have is self-reflection. And what I mean by this is figuring out exactly who you are and how you want to convey that in your content writing. If you are someone who's not interested in writing evergreen articles, and maybe you're more interested in highlighting topics around healthcare that you feel are really important but are not given the attention that you feel as though they deserve, that's something that you need to think about when you are faced with potential clients who are asking you to write for free, right? Because now you have to gauge, do I want to get paid more than I want to get content out there that really means something to me? And people are going to burn me for this. You know, a lot of people say never work for free, but I do firmly believe that it really depends. It depends on what the priority is for the writer. Just make sure that you don't write for the same company 2 and 3 and 6 times over for free. I don't support that by any means. But if you're willing to write maybe one piece that you're able to share on all of your socials and get a large audience to become aware of something that's really important to you, I say go for it, do it. Okay. Another tip for finding your why is to know your audience. So for me, I prefer to write for the everyday consumer because I know sprinkled in that everyday consumer are Black adults, African American adults who are looking for content around specific medical conditions. And I understand that sometimes people of color, racial minorities, may not see people in healthcare who look like them. And it's really important to me that my face is out there attached to all of my articles so that people have an understanding of, you know, maybe they relate to me a little bit better, and maybe I can help them get conversations started with their providers at the next visit, or maybe one of my articles encourages someone to even go and get a primary healthcare provider. You'd be surprised how many people to this day still don't have a primary healthcare provider. Another tip is to seek inspiration. So figure out who the writers out there are that you could read from all the time, and what is it about their content that you really enjoy? What is it about their article structure that you really enjoy? What is it about the topics that they write about that you really enjoy? Find time to look into things that you're motivated to write about and start figuring out how to write that content and where to write that content. You can always start a blog, but if you want more visibility, you may decide to start with potential clients who already have a following that you can borrow traffic from and essentially write for and get your work out there. Have people give you feedback on your articles. So if you're not ready to go and get a client, maybe you just start with a blog. Make sure that you give that blog to people that you know who can be not necessarily overly critical, but will be in a non-biased way, objective about your article and exactly what they thought they were going to gain from it, what they may have actually gained from it, and how to strengthen your article. This is only going to make you a stronger writer in the end and help you better identify your why in your content writing. And then finally, revisit your why as much as you need to, because, and this is really important, because as you are writing your health content, you are growing, and in essence your business also deserves a chance to grow. So the more time you spend on yourself and getting to know exactly who you are as a writer and where your strengths are and what you want to continue to write about, you're going to grow your business in doing this. And you should never be stagnant. You should be ever evolving in freelance writing, because there's so much to do, just as there is in nursing. You get started in one space and then you find yourself, in a room full of other opportunities that you didn't even know that you were interested in. That's all for this video. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe to this channel. Again, you can follow me on Instagram at Millennial Nursepreneur. And if you are interested in getting a content writing course, I have one. I will leave the link in the description.